My mission is to impact the hearts and minds of women, helping them change their stories and empowering them to love themselves, their bodies, and their lives. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Change Your Story podcast. I'm Hannah Dawson, your host and transformation coach. I'm a certified personal trainer, nutritionist, mindset coach, writer, speaker, and creator of the Fit Club Babes app, and I am here to help you transform your life. While I love teaching all things nutrition and fitness, and trust me, you'll get lots of that on here, my true passion lies in the power of mindset and self-relationship. I know firsthand how powerful a mindset shift can be. It has profoundly impacted not only my health and fitness journey, but also my relationship with myself, and it can do the same for you too. Many women believe as we age, we lose our beauty, body, and health, but that's not true. You can feel and look amazing and get better with age, and I'm going to show you how. Are you ready to change your story? Let's flip the script one thought at a time. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the podcast today. I am so excited to be here with you today. As always, I am so grateful for you. Before we get into it today, I just want to say a prayer. So whatever you believe in, just let your heart receive this, and let's begin. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. God, I just pray that the hearts and minds of the women listening today will be impacted, that whatever that they need to hear, God, that they would hear, that they would receive and believe, God. And so we just thank you for this day, and I thank you for every woman listening to this podcast today. And I just thank you, and I believe that they are blessed and that everything that they need, they have now. Amen. All right, you guys. So I don't even know what I'm going to title this podcast. I am just going to open up today, and I just believe that, through what I'm going to share today, that whatever you're kind of needing, I believe that you will hear it. That's what I truly believe. Whatever your heart or your soul is needing, whether it's on your fitness journey, whether it's with relationships with yourself or with others, or just your life journey in general. And so, as some of you know, and maybe some of you don't know, I've been kind of going through some things lately, losses, I guess you could say. So let's just get into those, and then I'm going to kind of share my reflections and just some thoughts. And then I have something kind of exciting to share at the end of this. So stay tuned till the end, and I would love to know your thoughts on what I'm going to share with you at the end of it. So yes, you can email me, you can message me, DM me, whatever, with what your thoughts are on this podcast in general and what I'm going to share with you at the end. So, all right, this thought or this word kept coming to me. Life is too short. Life is too short. Start again. Okay, so lately, you guys, I have spent the last, I would say 4-ish years building an app, from conception, like having the idea of it, and then building the app. I started my platform, the Fit Club, actually just with ebooks. Years ago, I would create ebooks and I would sell them, and it was my dream to one day have this huge online community of women that I could impact, and really help them, love themselves, love their bodies, and love their lives. This has been something that's always been in my heart, because health and fitness has been such a huge anchor in my life. And so I always, knew the power that it had, and I always wanted to give that back to women. And so, I had this dream of building an app, because there's certain things that have really helped me, not only in my health and fitness journey, but also in my relationship with myself and my life and sobriety, and really changing my story. Essentially, that's kind of what it came out to at the end, as it evolved, as my, my awareness and my education, and all of these levels, I guess, of consciousness, like as I have evolved as a human being, came about. And so I knew these tools that really helped me through this, and I wanted to put it all into an app. And so I had this idea, and so we got to work. The guy that built my website was actually a family friend. And so he built websites, and so he's been with me since I started outdoor boot camps years ago, probably 10 years now. And so he started my websites, and then about 4 years ago he was doing coding to build apps. So instead of hiring a big company to build an app, we thought he could just do it. He said he could do it, and I didn't know all the stuff that goes into building apps. So sure, it sounds great, right? You save money too. We didn't end up saving money in the long run, by the way. It ended up costing us way more because there's so many stages that go into building an app. And when you hire a company to build an app, it's because they have the front-end app developers, the back-end app developers. They have coders, they have testers. So there's all these stages that this app has to go through. Well, it's just me and Chris building this app. He's doing both. And so, it took a couple of years for the app to even be built. And then trying to get it into Apple, and it just had all these glitches. And here's the thing, you guys, in the beginning I'm like, red flag, we should just scrap it. But I was so invested into this idea. I was so hung up on this idea and all these things that I wanted to have and all these features that I wanted to have in the app. I just couldn't let it go. So again, kept dumping money into it. Let's try it this way. Let's try it this way. Eventually we got the app to be a web-based app. And then from there, we actually got it into Apple, so you could download it from the App Store. But again, just tons of glitches. And through this time, Chris had a brain tumor that he was working through, and they got rid of it. He went in for surgery, they got rid of it. But throughout this whole build of the app, and towards the end, once we launched the app, I got news that the tumor came back. And so, that too would have been my time to maybe we should find someone else to because he was the only one that could do everything for the app. And so you can kind of see where this is going. And so as he got progressed and got worse, we thought he was getting better. Everything was looking up, and then everything just kind of came crashing down at once. He wasn't able to fix the app anymore. And I mean, yeah, he's sick. He needs to be with his family. That's most important. It's really a sad thing. So all of this kind of just happened at once, like this huge dream that I had, all this money and time I've invested, gone. And also losing someone that not yet, but that they're sent home to spend the rest of their last days with their family. So that was really sad. And there's just a lot of sad things, a lot of just all at once. And so kind of dealing with all of this at once and trying to process and going, okay, and before we even got the news about him, the app was having some glitches, and in my heart I'm like, maybe we need to start looking at another platform, because I can't do it all anymore. I haven't really been able to create and be a coach and do my mindset coaching and all of those. I've been so depleted, you guys, because if the app's having glitches, then I'm the one on the other end having to do all of the things and be all of the things that I shouldn't have to be when you have a company. And so, me and Adam were saying, we need to hire a company where I don't have to worry about that, where I can be a coach again and create programs and challenges and teach and educate again. And I haven't really been able to do that fully, being present, feeling how I used to feel when I would show up. I've honestly, you guys, have felt so depleted and defeated lately, and crushed on so many levels, and sad. And and feeling bad about feeling sad about my platform because of Chris, and feeling like I'm not even allowed to feel super sad about him because he's not even my close family and his kids and all of that. So there's all these mixed emotions of not feeling like I'm allowed to feel this way. And so that can create so many things. I don't know why I'm telling you guys this, but so that's kind of where I'm at now. And so dealing with all of this in the midst of this, you guys, like a couple years ago, I started to write my book. I've been feeling this huge calling on my heart to write my book, to share my story. And so it was really exciting for me. I thought, okay, as soon as the app launches, I can fully write my book. And we just had so many issues and glitches. I would start to write the book and then I would have to stop because it would take up so much mental energy to write this book. I didn't know the process of writing a book and actually going through moments in my life that maybe I didn't have healing. So then I'm going through all this and I'm experiencing these crazy emotions and not knowing where they're coming from. And it's kind of funny because I'm writing a book called Change Your Story, and I'm going through my story and it's triggering and it's like bringing up doubt and all of these things. And I'm like, I feel like I've been sucked up into a tornado and like I can't control anything and everything is out of my control. And so fitness has always been an anchor for me, the one thing I felt I could control. And right now, and through this whole few years, I felt like I've had no control. And it can be just a really weird feeling. You're trying to find something that you can grip, that you have control over, and you can really internalize it and take it in, and really beat yourself up and think something is wrong with you. As I'm writing a book about this, as I'm trying to be a coach and show up to be this person that has it all together, feeling like I don't have anything together, feeling like everything is falling apart, and all those doubts and those fears that I had about myself and who I am seeming to be confirming to be true because everything is falling apart. And so why I'm sharing this with you guys is because 4 years of building an app gone, time gone, thousands and thousands, upon thousands of dollars. Not just with the app, we paid for marketing, we got paid for all of these things, just all this money that I had to work really hard for, that felt like I would never get out of debt. I wasn't able to pay myself. I've worked for 10 years, you guys, and I never started paying myself until last year. I had ambassadors for the Fit Club. I would pay them to promote. And that even fell through. We went through a period where I lost everything. I lost all my ambassadors. All of these things that came up, just everything started it was like I couldn't keep the pieces together. Everything just started falling apart. And again, just like red flags, but I was so hung up on it happening this certain way. I was so hung up. My identity was so tied to this one idea. And so I've had to do a lot of reflection. And so this past year, like I said, I'll go back to writing my book. I signed up with Hay House. They're a publishing company. If you've heard of Louise Hay, Dr. Wayne Dyer, Gabby Bernstein, Jeannie Lim Kerma, they are all authors through Hay House Publishing Company. And so this was a dream. Normally you can't send in your book proposal to a publishing company. You have to have a literary agent or to sell your idea to the publishing company. But I took their book writers boot camp, and again, that was kind of like a miracle sign to do that. And then I decided to sign up for their book writers course. And so I'm doing all this and I'm starting to feel really overwhelmed. It has to be done a certain way, but just in the nick of time, I got my book proposal. I got my book outline. I have this idea that I didn't have before. Before I was just going to share my story. Now I want to share my story to also teach women how to change their story and the things and lessons in life. And so I have this whole structure of how this book is going to go, and I'm really excited. Send it in. And November 4th, we were supposed to hear back. So before this was happening, the app, I never thought I was going to do a new app. So like things just kind of all crashed at once, from Chris's health crashing to the app we're not going to be able to redo. We're not going to be able to keep using it. We're going to have to find a new company to build it. And then from there to the book proposal falling through, so not getting chosen. So just all of these no's, crashes, losses, all these things happening at once. And, I had to sit and like reflect, and a part of me was kind of relieved about the book, because I thought, I don't know where I would have the time right now to even have to, because a book proposal, you don't have your whole book written. You just kind of have the outline, the ideas, the chapters. You have some chapters written, but they're going to go through most of it with you and change a lot of it and all of that stuff. So I thought, I can't even think about that right now, of doing that right now. And so that kind of was a blessing in disguise. So I didn't feel too upset about it, but I still, it still makes you question, should I even share my story? Like, is that even, on the table anymore? Like, I've told everybody I'm doing this. Now, I was supposed to have this app. Now it's gone. And now the book thing is gone. And now do I look like a fraud? Do I look like someone that doesn't follow through? Like all of these, like these fears and stuff. And so, here's the biggest thing is that, challenges in our lives, ladies, are inevitable, right? Challenges in lives are inevitable. And they are inevitable, but they're also there to serve us if we're willing to reflect. And so I had to do lots of reflection on this, on all of this. And maybe years ago, I wouldn't have been able to handle all of this. I would have given up. And, some people don't show this. And this is kind of what I wanted to say, is that life is not a highlight reel. I mean, social media has glamorized, success and the way you're supposed to do things with your life, with your body, with your career. And we can get so hung up on these highlight reels. But here's the thing, that life is not built from the highlight reels. Life is built through the challenges that are there to make us or bring out of us what's inside us. And the real highlight reels are that, because the highlight reels that people show are just a glimpse of that moment of years of trial and tribulation and challenges and refining and growing and evolving. That is what it is. And so the actual highlight reel is all the fire you have to go through and grow through to keep showing up and to keep going, and all of the things that collapse and fall apart along the way. And this feels like a big collapse. I've seen on social media, there's this image, and it looked like this. It looked like a tiny little hill, and then it dipped down into a valley, and then it went up into a huge hill. And so there was a little flag on the first hill and a big flag on the second hill. And it had this little person reach the little flag and then dip down into the valley where there's no flags. And it says, most people quit here, don't quit. And it was just such confirmation in my heart that we're rebuilding the app, ladies. We're rebuilding this new platform that will be available soon, before the new year. So I'm really excited for you all, and I'm really excited to share it with you. But it could be for some people really easy to just say, like, fuck it, like, I'm just going to go and do a 9-to-5 job. I'm going to stop doing this. But here's the thing, my heart to help women is so much bigger than that I can't give up. Because then I would be teaching you that to give up through those hard moments. And there's this saying, I'm sure you've heard the song. It says, when you're going through hell, don't slow down. You may get out before the devil even knows your name. And it's just like, when you're going through those moments, you have to keep going. You don't get stuck there, because it's when you get stuck there that you get stuck there, that you feel you'll be defeated and you may not make it out. And so those challenges are there to help you. It's your purpose in life. whatever those challenges are, they may not seem fair. It may seem like what am I doing wrong? But you can't look at it that way. You have to reframe it. And that's why reflection is so important. That's why you have to understand that, you have to say, not why is this happening to me, but what is this here to teach me? Not why is this happening to me, but what is this here to teach me? Because at the end of the day, whatever you're going through, you are meant to go through it, to grow through it. That the only way out is through. You can't skip it. You can't stop it. And if you try to, it will just show up in other areas of your life and as a test, because that was a test for you to evolve and to grow as a human being. And so, I guess where I'm going with this podcast is just sharing kind of what's going on, but in hopes to whatever you're going through, that we're not always going to be in those highlight reels. Like, that's not life. And to share and to be open. There's this one, I heard this quote and I agree with it and I don't, in a sense. And I'm going to share that with you. And the quote is, don't show your wounds, show your scars. But here's the thing. Sometimes we need to show our wounds because it's the people that we share with that will help bandage those oozing wounds. That they could say something. Maybe it's sharing that someone else's oozy wounds scar faster and heal faster too. So I agree with it to a point when it comes to when you're just complaining or you're not doing anything, but sometimes we have to share those wounds because it's through sharing that comes our healing. And so part of me really went back and forth. Do I share with the ladies right now or do I wait? Because that quote was coming. Do I wait until, I'm really successful? Whatever that means, right? That's another just a weird lie and limited belief that I have. Then I thought, no, because I want you guys to know that. I want you ladies to know that this is what life is. This is what I'm going through. This is what I'm growing through. And I want you to be in this with me, so that when we do make certain highlight reels that you can celebrate with me, and same vice versa with you too. Share what you're going through, what you're growing through, so we can celebrate when you go through it, when you come out the other end. We're not meant to do life alone. That is why I have created the Fit Club, that we're meant to do this together. And we're not meant to be perfect, and we're not meant to show only the perfect side. We're meant to show the wearing the heart on our sleeve side. We're meant to show the walls down side, just to be able to be open and vulnerable. And if you can't be that with me and I can't be that with you, then that's not a real friendship, because a real friendship, we can show those sides of us. We can be open and vulnerable and transparent. And the people that don't stay when we are, the people that judge us when we are that way, they're not meant for our lives. They're not at that level. They're still at a level below you. So the people that can be super vulnerable and real, that's just a sign of growth. And I want to be real with you, and I want you to know my heart, and where my heart is, and my heart is to impact your heart and your mind. My heart is to help you change your story so that you can love yourself, your body, and your life, because I know what it's like to be in different stages of that and feel like I'm jumping from one thing to another, from one vice to another, from one coping mechanism to another, from one heartache and heartbreak to another. I know what that's like, not only with other people in life, but with myself, and learning to love and accept myself. And I want to teach you that, and I want to be there for you for that. And I also want to show you that I'm still going through that. And so that is the purpose of this podcast. And what I want to share with you next, you guys, is, I kind of said at the beginning of this podcast, life is too short. And, knowing that Chris he has kids, and, he has teens, that they're going to lose their dad and they're going to have to say goodbye. And it just made me think life is too short. You don't know when you have or how long you have. So that brings me to my next thing. It really got me thinking about sharing my story. And I kept coming back. Like, I don't have time to write a book right now. I just don't. But I also don't have, someone else may not have the time for me to wait for me to share my story, because my story may impact their life. It may be your life that I impact. So what I have decided to do, you guys, and this is what I would like to know from you, if this is something you would like to hear, I thought, I'm going to share my story on my podcast. I'm going to share with you what I was going to write in my book, and just share it in a way where I'm just sharing my story, like we're sitting in my living room with coffee or tea, and we're just opening up to one another, and I'm going to share my story and how I changed my story, and the things that I had to go through, and the belief systems I had to change, and the things that really took me into the depths of my own hell, and really battling my own demons, from addiction to disorders to abuse to all of these different things. And how did I get to where I am, and how getting to where I am now, realizing that you can't run from yourself. And just because things may look all pretty and proper on the outside doesn't mean that they are. That until the story changes, nothing changes. And that the story, changing your story isn't about changing you. It's about changing the story that is keeping you from being you. That's the biggest thing that I've learned in reflecting. And so my hope is, this is my hope. This is my faith coming in, and my belief is that I want to share my story, because my goal, ladies, is to reach 10,000 women, to help them change their stories, to impact their hearts and their minds, whatever you're going through. And so my hope is in sharing my story is that you'll share my story with other people that it would impact. You don't have to buy a book. I'm just going to share my story on here and hope that it reaches, 10,000 women, 100,000 women. It reaches women all around the world and empowers you, empowers them, to change your story. That it doesn't matter where you come from, what's been done to you, what you feel you are, that you absolutely have the power to live the life you want to live, to love who you are, to love your body and your life. And that is absolutely possible to get to this place of living life beyond recovery, living life beyond the chase, living life beyond the scale, living life beyond the drugs or the alcohol, living a life beyond the addictions or habits or hang-ups. There is that place, but it all starts in changing our story. And I wanted to share my story with you guys, and in hopes of, that it may help you. That's my biggest prayer, my biggest hope, that maybe it will help you. It's going to be as scary as hell, sharing, but I'm going to do it. And so I would love to know if that's something that you would love. You can share with me privately. You can rate and review the podcast. You can just leave a little review saying share your story. You could just email me, or you don't have to at all. That's not what I'm doing it for. I'm doing it to impact your heart and your mind. That it will be the key that unlocks whatever you may be going through. And you may have went through some of the things that I'm going to share in my story, and maybe none of them, but it still resonates, and it still opens a new level of thinking for you. And that is powerful. You guys, that is it. That is all. I know this was kind of a different podcast today, but I'm feeling called in a different area to show up for you differently, and to connect with you on a real soul level, on a soul sister level. So that said, I want you all to know you are my soul sisters. At the end of the day, we are connected in a deeper way, even if we've never met in person. The fact that you're listening here means you're being drawn to me and me to you, and I'm grateful for you, and I thank God for you, or thank the universe, or whatever you believe, that you are right where you need to be. And I look forward to being able to sit with you and sharing my story. I don't know how it's going to look, if it's going to be one long podcast or I'm going to have to break it up into podcasts. But get your coffee, get your tea, whatever, get your Kleenex box, because we might have some cries together. And I look forward to getting to know you and you getting to know me on such a deeper level, getting to see my heart, I'm letting the walls come down, and if you stay, then I know you're my girl, then I know you're in my tribe, and if you don't, that's okay. But yeah, that's it, you guys. Bye for now, and I will see you next time.